What if I told you the most expensive piece of real estate on earth isn't a penthouse in Manhattan, a palace in Dubai, or a cliffside villa in the south of France? It's in a country smaller than Central Park. It has no airport, no farmland, no natural resources, and the people buying property there aren't trying to live in it. They're using it to legally disappear from their home country's tax system. And in doing so, they're making more money every single month than most people earn in a decade. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how that works, and you'll never think about real estate or wealth the same way again. Part 1. The numbers that shouldn't exist. Let's start with the numbers, because they're genuinely insane. Monaco, a 2 square kilometer dot on the French Riviera, smaller than some suburban golf courses. In 2024, the average price per square meter in its Larvotto district hit €97,563, a 48% jump in a single year. Wait, for the price of a modest 2-bedroom apartment there, you could buy an entire city block in most American cities. And the average new build sale price? €36.4 million per transaction. Not per square meter, per transaction. That's the average. Someone sitting at the low end of that number thinks they got a bargain. Monaco's total real estate market topped €5.9 billion in transactions in 2024. This is a country of 2 square kilometers. 2. Over the past decade, the average price per square meter in Monaco has risen 71%, from €37,242 in 2014. That's not a market behaving normally. That's a mathematical inevitability. Infinite demand, finite supply. Prices only go one direction. And here's the part nobody tells you. Most people who own property in Monaco have never lived there for more than a few weeks a year. They own it because it gives them legal residency in a tax haven. The apartment isn't a home. It's a tax strategy dressed up in marble and sea views. Part 2. The open loop you've been waiting for. Let's run the real math. And I mean real. Annual, monthly, daily, per hour. You're a tech founder. Net worth $500 million. You earn $30 million a year in capital gains. In the United States, you owe roughly 23.8% federal capital gains tax. That's $7.14 million handed to the government every single year. Now you buy an apartment in Monaco for €8.1 million. A 2-bedroom, 150 square meters, Monte Carlo address. Monaco has 0 income tax, 0 capital gains tax. Year 1, you've saved $7.14 million. That's $595,000 per month, $19,700 per day, $820 per hour, $13.70 per minute, while you sleep, while you're on your yacht, while you're doing absolutely nothing. Your apartment cost €8.1 million. It pays for itself in 14 months. After that, every year you hold residency is another $7 million in your pocket that would have gone to the government. Over a decade, that's $71 million in tax savings. From one decision, one address, one apartment you might visit 4 times a year. That is not a home purchase. That is the highest returning investment on the planet. Part 3. The building that cost more than most countries' GDP. Now let's talk about the other end of the spectrum. The single most expensive private residence ever built. Not a palace, not a government compound, a home. Antilia, Altamount Road, Mumbai. Estimated value, $4.6 billion as of 2023. Owner, Mukesh Ambani, chairman of Reliance Industries. Here's where it gets strange. The building stands 567 feet across 27 floors. The Ambani family lives on 4 of them, just 4. The remaining 23 floors exist to support the 4 at the top. 168 parking spaces, a health spa, swimming pools, a private cinema, multiple hanging gardens, and a staff of 600 people just to keep the building operational. 600 people. To maintain one family's home, there are entire towns in the world with fewer employees. And here's the calculation that makes your jaw drop. Ambani paid roughly $2 billion to build Antilia. By 2023, it was valued at $4.6 billion. That's a 130% return in under 15 years. On a building he lives in. He didn't rent it out. He didn't develop it. He just owned the most famous address in a city of 20 million people, in a country adding billionaires faster than almost anywhere on Earth. The building wasn't the asset. The address was. Part 4. The Malibu Gamble. Now here's a story most people have never heard, and it's the clearest picture of how trophy real estate actually works. James Jannard, founder of Oakley Sunglasses. In 2001, he bought a cliffside estate in Malibu, California for $31 million. Then, the world fell apart. 2008, the financial crisis wiped out half of Malibu's luxury market. Jannard held. 2020, COVID froze every high-end transaction globally. Jannard held. Interest rate spikes, macro shocks, years of carrying costs, maintenance, insurance, property taxes. Easily $1 to $2 million a year. He held for 23 years. In 2024, he sold for $210 million, a $179 million profit, a 577% return. Part 5. The bigger picture. Here's the scale of what we're actually talking about. The global luxury real estate market was valued at $289.6 billion in 2023. It's projected to reach $515 billion by 2032. That's not a niche hobby for a few eccentrics. That is one of the largest wealth storage systems ever created by human beings. Part 6. The honest verdict. So let's answer the real question. Is buying the world's most expensive real estate the best or worst financial decision you can make? If you're buying for tax residency, like most Monaco buyers, the math is almost always rational. The annual savings can exceed the purchase price within a decade. It's not a home, it's arithmetic. If you're buying for appreciation, like Jannard in Malibu, the returns can be extraordinary, but only if you have the capital and patience to hold through every catastrophe the world throws at you for 20 years. If you're buying for status, to have the address, the view, the bragging rights, you will almost certainly overpay and under-earn. The market will smile at you and quietly take your money. The world's most expensive real estate isn't sold by the square meter. It's sold by what it lets you keep. Ending. The one line they'll remember. Here's the big idea. The thing I want you to walk away with. Billionaires don't buy homes. They buy tax advantages. The apartment is just where they store their legal residency. Monaco doesn't cost 97,000 euros per square meter because the views are beautiful. It costs that because of what the legal status attached to that apartment is worth to someone with 9 or 10 figures in the bank. The world's wealthiest people figured out a long time ago that the most powerful real estate investment isn't the one with the best location. It's the one with the best legal address.
If you enjoyed this video, smash that like button and hit subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next.